Hello, water sign gents. So this is your Valentine's Day special with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. So if you are a Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio male, then this is for you. And there's a card here that represents your significant other or maybe even your intended. As always, I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. It's always very humbling that you guys resonate with my work. So I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this is based on a spread that I do called the Lover's Spread, and we're going to look at the different sectors of you and your intended or other, and basically what you're we're then going to look at your path ahead. So let's see how things are going for you. All right, for your in your mind, you have the Four of Swords, right? So this is nice because in regards to the relationship, and especially in the mind sector, it does suggest that you are taking things easy, you're taking things slow and working through things at what I would call like a relative pace. Remember, there's nothing rushed or hurried about the Four of Swords. It's always a let's see how things go, or, you know, let's take the easier, softer sort of approach. And when it comes to your partner, they have the Page of Cups. So this really does suggest to me that they very much have a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of focus towards you and the relationship. This is somebody whose thoughts are very often on you. They think about you, they care about you a lot. And it kind of suggests to me as well that you guys really you support each other. There's a really strong energy here of not only support but an energy of ease. It's like between you and this person or whoever your partner is, there's like a really strong sense of just knowing, you know what, I'm in good hands here. And this is really nice, especially because you've got the Page of Cups, which suggests that, I mean, for some of you water sign gents, it does appear that at the moment, you know, plans maybe to extend or expand the family may be on hold. You know, it kind of suggests to me as well that your partner might not necessarily be in that same space. So this is something that maybe you're having discussions on at the moment, you know, whether to start a family, whether to have another child. Like, there's a lot of thought about this at the moment, which, you know, makes sense with the current climate. You want to be sure that it's the right time for you. Now, the reason I've picked the Empress for your intended is because the Empress is a universal significator of women. And that's the reason. All right, so for in your body you have the Five of Swords. So look at this, you've got the Four and the Five of Swords, which tells me for a lot of you water sign gents, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to partnerships at the moment, the big focus is kind of, you know, where do we go from here? Where do we go from now? And it kind of suggests to me as well, when it comes to your body, this is a time where you're probably really focused on all of the things that you have in place that keep the whole thing running and ticking over. It does suggest to me that at the moment there may be a little bit of a friction in your opinions, you know, maybe something that you want that your partner doesn't, or vice versa. This is something that you can overcome by having open, honest communication. And if you feel yourself getting a little bit heated, or, you know, maybe feeling like a little bit what's the word, put upon, then this is the time to say so, but to find a way to do it that, you know, remember, in a relationship, you're not fighting each other, you're fighting whatever it is that's external. So whatever the challenge is, you fight that together. You don't fight with each other. And this is one of the things that I think at the moment you're really trying to keep, you know, under wraps, or to get right. So in their body, they have the Nine of Pentacles, right? So very focused at this moment in time on enhancing the relationship and getting the most out of it that they possibly can. Now, what I like about this, remember, your Nine of Pentacles is actually a very beautiful card, but it's a very practical card. And this suggests to me that on that physical, practical, tangible level, one of the things that it kind of looks like you may be not considering is that there's more effort is needed on that, you know, on that plane. It's one thing to know something, it's another thing to do something, you know, and, you know, actions and words, yes, they have, you know, they both have weight in different ways, but this would be a time, because it looks like your partner is trying to demonstrate love to you. They're trying to show you, you know, in a lot of ways on a, you know, really mundane level, let's say, that they're there for you, that they care, that they, you know, that they love you. And it kind of feels like you're either very distracted at the moment or you've got a lot on your plate. And if that is the case, find a way to say that rather than just kind of saying, you know, than not being mean, but it's kind of like almost like there's a sense here that you might be a little bit dismissive about something. And this is something that I really want you to consider at the moment, because it feels like it's getting in the way of what could be, you know, a really good experience. And then for your soul, you have the Tower card, right? And this suggests to me that there are a lot of big changes going on for you at the moment on that really sort of deep inner level, especially when it comes to the relationship. So what we're looking at here is your mind, body, and your spirit. And then in their spirit, look at this, in their soul, they have the Strength card, right? So if I'm completely honest with you, I feel like your partner is a little bit more present than you are when it comes to the relationship right now. So if you're a water sign male, this would be a time where you really need to ask yourself, what is it about the relationship that is either not fulfilling, or what is it about the relationship that you feel needs to be improved? Because somewhere here, things do look a little bit unevenly stacked. And that's, you know, you may have a lot going on right now. You might just have a lot going on that personal level, which, you know, if you're in a relationship, you need to find a way to communicate that. Even if it's just to say, like, you know, I can't talk about it at the moment, but saying something rather than saying nothing. In your collective mind, you have the Seven of Wands. So there does appear to be a little bit of a challenge here, right? And, you know, this is one of the questions that it does look like you're both asking yourselves, but in different ways. Do we fight for the relationship, or do we just let it go? This does appear to be a bit of a crux point for some of you guys, I'm sorry to say. So then you have the High Priestess in the body, right? So this suggests to me that there is an elephant in the room, right? There is something sat in between you guys that is just not being talked about it. And it's like you're ignoring it, and you're ignoring it, and you're ignoring it. And eventually it's going to get to the point where something will need to be said. If you are holding on to something, you gents, because this is obviously for water sign guys, this would be a time for you to dig deep and just say exactly how you feel, rather than, you know, holding back, let's say. You know, like, it's one thing to you know, to let something slide, but if you're going to just silently seethe about it, then you haven't really let it go, and you need to find a way to do that. And then in your collective soul, you have the Knight of Pentacles, right? So there's a couple of things that I want to say to you here. One, you can get past the challenges that you are experiencing with your partner, your other half, your significant other, you know, whether this is a new or an old partner, you can get past it, absolutely. And there is hope and potential there, but it's going to be hard work. I have to say, there's not going to be any quick or easy fixes to this. And as long as you're prepared to do the work, I think you'll both get through it okay. So you've got the Eight of Pentacles. This is about your path forward now. The Nine of Wands. Okay. So building a bigger picture here, it does appear that one of you has either lost a job or is having problems with the job. And this is putting a lot of strain on the relationship. It's putting a lot of challenge in your path or on your path at the moment. And it's kind of like there's no way to talk about it, because every time it's brought up, it just gets a bit, you know, a bit heated, let's say. Now look at this, right? So you've got the Death card there coupled with the Knight of Pentacles, and you've got two knights here. that tells me that the intimacy level in your relationship seems to be lacking at the moment. And this is something that you really need to think about. How do you inject an energy of, you know, more intimacy, more sensuality, more sexuality? How do you bring more of that into the relationship at this moment in time? Because it looks like that's one of the things that has suffered as a result of whatever this challenge with, you know, whoever's work it is. Now, going forward, you've got the Fool card, right, which tells me that there will be an end to the crap or the challenges that you're experiencing. If you need a time sequence for that, you would be looking at, oh, excuse me, to give you a time, to give you a timing or a time sequence, you would be looking at, I want to say, late June going into July. Like, I get this feeling like anywhere from like the 23rd of June right through to about probably the 1st or 2nd of July. Like, I feel like that's the time. If you guys can get through this next period or the challenges that you're facing in this current period, I think you will be okay. I think the relationship has every chance of survival. Okay, and then you have the Death card. So I do have to be really honest with you. You've pulled the Death card twice. You've also got the High Priestess there, so, you know, there's a lot of watery energy in this spread, but there also seems to be a lot of conflict. And it's like your partner or your significant other is kind of like, well, I will just keep going to make everything better as long as I can, and when it no longer works, then I will walk. And there's an energy here that kind of suggests that you're a bit, you know, kind of all over the place. It does look like a make or break moment for a lot of you guys, and I do feel, like I said, I do feel some of you will come through it, and the time where you will look at the relationship and say, you know what, we've made it through the difficult part is going to be late June going into July. So if you can wait that long, or you can do whatever needs to be done to get to that point, then I think you'll be all right. But with the Death card here, something that is unspoken needs to be let go of. You either talk about it and hash it out and fight it out about whatever that might be, or you have to really let it go. Like, if you can't actually let it go, then you're going to need to speak about it, because it does appear to be the elephant in the room. It's like one of you knows something and you refuse to talk about it. It's like, well, I'm not ready. I don't see why I should be the one. And I'll be honest with you, this is not an easy spread, guys, I have to say. So if you are a water sign male, Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio, now is a time where you really need to get very honest with yourself about what you want and need from the relationship, what your expectations are, and more importantly, what you are prepared to do about it. Because, you know, just obviously you've got this whole other work situation that appears to be really putting the pressure on both of you, but really putting a strain on the relationship. It's something that needs to be considered, and you really are going to have to find a way to talk it out. So I wish I could have given you easier messages. It does appear that some of the Valentine's messages haven't been quite as lovey-dovey as I'm sure most people would have liked, but it was nice to bring you something different. And yeah, look out, because there'll be loads of different stuff coming this year. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic Valentine's season. Remember, do something nice, not just for you, for your partner, but for you guys as a collective. And, you know, if it means having to have tough conversations in order to save the whole thing, then do so. It's worth doing, especially if you really do want to save it. All right, with that said, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.